All right, now that we're having fun with sounds, we've gotten the bass sounding a bit bigger. We added some amp sims to the guitars. Let's do something with the keys. All right, so this was recorded with a fairly clean, basic electric piano sound. And one of the cool things that in the original that we wanted to try and capture is the sound of a wah-wah pedal. And in Pro Tools under modulation, you should find a wah, except I don't see one. The fuzz wah, I'm not with that. So that is because it's a mono only plugin again, just like the 11 Mark II. So I need to make, in this instance, I think what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to make a mono aux track. I'm going to change the input to a bus. And I have a choice here. I could either go down the path of sending this on a bus, but remember that's going to blend the clean sound with the wah-wah sound. And I think I want it to be pretty pronounced. So I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change the output to be that mono bus so that 100% of the piano goes through this wah-wah. I'm going to come to the inserts. I'm going to go to the modulation category, and now we have the black slash shiny wah. And you can get a black one. I have one of those, or a shiny one, and we can kind of try and hear the difference. So now there's no sends, there's no levels. This is going through. And the idea with a wah-wah is that as you rock this pedal back and forth, it is shifting a cutoff frequency in a sweep so that you're getting kind of this filtered sweep, and you're rocking it on beat and things like that. So actually that makes me want to go back here for a second. So because we kind of want this to be on beat, we actually need to get a ballpark of what our tempo is. I'm not going to tempo map this thing just for the wah-wah pedal. However, I kind of do need to know where it is, and it's not at 120. So I'm going to highlight some drums. I'm going to solo the drum folder. I'm going to turn off the conductor, and I'm going to highlight the tempo. And I did this earlier, and redoing this real quick. So I'm going to press play, and I'm going to tap on the letter T on beat to the music. And I got quite a few different tempos, but that's my tapping. So I'm going to go back to, let's make it 130. And again, that's just a ballpark. It's not going to affect the audio at all, but what it will affect is the grid, because now I want to get this thing rocking, and I cannot sit here. I wanted to see if we could hear a difference. To the black. If I can hear one, it's not quite as bright, but who knows? I could be making that up. But we need to automate this pedal position because we can't sit here and just play with our mouse, even though it's a lot of fun. So I'm going to come over to auto. I'm going to move the position over to the automated parameters. And I'm going to drop down my automation lane on the wall and choose the position. Okay. And for this, what I want to do is get it to be on the grid or by the grid so that it's at least close to rhythmic. I'm going to, if you're on the freehand tool, I'm going to click and hold and choose the triangle tool. I have changed my grid to eighth notes because I think that's the tempo that I would like to do it at. I don't know for sure. So I'm going to come down to my position line, and I'm going to start drawing these triangles. And I'm going to go ahead for the moment and just say this whole song is going to be like this. I can always delete these if I want to later. Wow, there's the solo. Bye, solo. Okay, maybe I'll end it right there. And remember, up and down, that becomes kind of interesting. And I'll go this way so I can get more out of it. And if you don't like something like that, you can always highlight it and then come with your Smart tool. It should give me that little bracket where I can change some of this, the values, and move them back up and stuff. Okay? So there's a little wah-wah. However, one thing I just noticed, what we have now is a mono piano. That would be avoided if we did the bus idea, because then the bus would be in mono, but we wouldn't hear quite as much of the effect. And I think I'm going to go with it this way. But I do need to repan my piano. Because everything's coming through the aux track. Okay, so at the moment, after these changes, by putting these amp sims on, by putting the wall, things are starting to pop through the mix a little bit more. I'm right away thinking, wow, where'd the drums go? We're going to bring some EQ into the mix and have them pop as well.